Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you all for being here. So today I'm going to have a video of a live backtesting session where I also do a Q&A. The other day I put a video up on my Instagram, if you could go ahead and follow that, that's JMTRADEZ, where I also put a questionnaire form with it. And I said, ask me any question about trading, about life, about general, just get to know me as my YouTube channel is kind of blown up recently. Anything you guys want to know about my job as a full-time trader, about my beliefs, etc., be my guest, ask the question. So how I'm going to work this video is I'm going to show you guys my strategy for trading through live backtesting. I'm going to take a trade, and whether it is a win or a loss, that is going to be the result. There's going to be no spoofing it. It's going to be full transparency. I'm going to explain my strategy as well. And then after we take a trade, whether it's a winner or a loser, I will put a question up from the Instagram on there. I've chose a few questions that I think were best, and I will answer it. And yeah, so that's what, and we'll just repeat the process until the questions are done. The first thing I want to get out of the way is a question that came up so many times, and it's about the mentorship and the Discord room spots that I have opening in the future. I'm just going to put up on the screen the amount of times this question was asked. It was just countless times. So I want to answer that one first and foremost. Basically, I am going to be dropping my mentorship and my Discord room spots opening in late July, early August. That is the goal that I have for it, okay? I've been working hard on it. I've been working hard to improve it, to get more members in there, etc., so more people can be satisfied, okay? I don't want to just drop something randomly and milk people for money. I have morals, I have good morals, and I want to make sure that I am doing it correctly. So that is the answer to that. You guys will know, I promise. I will be advertising it, etc. So without further ado, let's get into the video with the rest of the questions. Alright guys, so here's my backtesting screen all set up. I'm using TradeZella to backtest. It is a trading journal that connects to any account you have, whether that's a futures or a CFD brokerage. You can connect it. It'll automatically import your trades and keep track of your trading. So I'm using that to backtest as well because they have that. Use code JMTRADEZ with a Z on the end of it for a percentage off at checkout. So without further ado, as you guys can see up here, it is about 9:25, so 5 minutes till the market opens. So at this point, I'm on the higher time frame, as you can see up here, and I'm going to mark off simple areas of support and resistance, okay? That's what I trade. I trade support and resistance, supply and demand, price action. I do not trade ICT, fair value gaps, anything like that. So the first thing we'll do is mark off this area right here. As you can see, we got touches there, we got touches over here, and then we got another touch in this area here. The second thing I'll do is look for another area. We've got a good amount of touches in there. We've got some touches right there. So all these areas, as you guys can see, are pretty significant. And then we'll mark one more higher in case price makes its way up there. We'll go with this area here. As you guys can see, touches, 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 touches. Then what I'm doing is I'm switching down to the 5 minute, and I'm waiting for price to come to one of these lines, and I can look for my entry confirmation. And when we are ready to take an entry, I will explain what I am looking for. So let me go ahead and set up everything here. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, so let's get into market open. Price dumps. What I would be looking for now is probably a pullback and a retest. Bang, just like this. So we get structure, price is pulling back into the area after breaking it with volume. Now all I'm looking for is a break of structure. Price closed below that new structure point that we made. So therefore I would enter the trade, and I would probably just target something simple. We'll manage the trade as we go. And yeah, we get stopped out. Okay, so there's the first trade. We get stopped out. So the first question I'm going to put up is, what would you do as a new person who just passed their first eval? Okay, so what would I do as a new person who just passed their first eval? That answer to me is going to be, I am going to activate my account, obviously, and then I'm going to implement a risk management plan, okay? One that is different from the evals, because the evals, you know, I like to go in with a little more size. Once I get a fresh new Express account, okay, or qualified account, whatever you're using, or live account, whatever, I would implement a risk management plan. If I'm on futures, I'm going in with one contract per trade until I build up a buffer. Okay, then once I build up a buffer, maybe I'll add another contract on it, and eventually I'll work my way up to 3 contracts. But until I build that buffer, I'm using proper risk management with one contract per trade. Sometimes I've even gone in with 7 to 8 micros, okay? For as far as CFDs, I'm risking 1% per trade. So if I have a $100,000 live account, I'm risking $1,000 at most per trade. So the first thing I'm doing is I get an eval passed over into a express account or a live account. I am implementing a risk management plan, okay? Because if I'm not protecting my capital, then I am just a gambler. I am not a real day trader. I'm just a gambler. So the first thing I would do is if I get that eval, I would activate it, implement a risk management plan. I know that works for me, okay? And as I said before, that's what I'm doing. I am looking for one contract per trade, and eventually I'll scale it as we build a buffer, or on a CFD account, I'm looking to risk 1% per trade. So you guys can do the math for that one. So what we'll do now is we'll head on to the next day. All right, so here we are on the next day, guys. We got all of our lines marked off for support and resistance areas and stuff like that. So we've made some significant legs up from the previous day here. And yeah, let's get into the next day here. So let's see what price does. We're down on the 5-minute time frame. Breaks above. Bad price action right now. Wow. Okay, we break back above there. Okay, so I guess now, oh, it's 11 o'clock. I don't trade after 11 o'clock. We'll move on to the next day here. Next day. What do we got? So already what I'm seeing here is we do have support there, but already what I'm seeing here is price overnight. We'll go on a higher time frame to, you know, really look at it. What I'm seeing overnight is price ended up breaking below this area right now, is now pulling back and holding the area, and now looks like it's going to break structure to the downside here. So already my bias for right now is to go short, but of course we have to wait for market opening to see what it gives us. So we do dump. I think what I'll end up doing is waiting for a pullback and then another break of structure. Yeah, no entry there. Anything else we could get for the day? We break above. We have structure being formed here. We break it. We'll go ahead and enter this position right here. This will be a good entry. We'll target this area up here. Let's see what we get. Okay, great reaction. We'll move stops. We'll trail the stops right here. And we get stopped out right there. So, good position right there. Next thing I'll put up is, what is the number one thing that took you out of the break-even stage? Okay, so that's a great question because I, like a lot of traders, was stuck in the break-even stage for a very long time. The number one thing I would say that took me out of the break-even stage was just taking a chill pill and just relaxing. So many traders these days, they have to get it done now. They have to get it done today. There's no time for them to wait. So what I did was just realize, okay, what is the rush here? You know what? I don't have an enormous amount of bills. I'm 21 years old. I have no kids to feed. And just like most people watching me can probably relate to this situation. I know there's people out there that can't fully relate to it, and I pray for your situation no matter what. But if you're like me, you understand. You're just 21 years old. You have nothing to pay for. No kids to feed, nothing like that if you're like me. So what did I do? I said, you know what? Let me just relax. There's no need for me to make $10,000 in a day right now. I just started this process. I just started this journey. I'm at the break-even stage. So you know what? I took a chill pill. I just relaxed, and I realized that, you know what? Just because that I am trading doesn't mean I have to make it work this second right now. Relax, take a chill pill, and realize that the world does not end if you're not funded a day after you buy the account. Just relax. I would say just getting my emotions in check, getting my mental stability in check is the number one thing that took me out of the break-even stage. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll head to the next day here. We'll switch over to Wednesday. So we're at one winning trade, one losing trade, and we are in profit by a little bit down here, as you guys can see. All right, so let's get rid of this. Stupid. All right, here we are, 1 hour time frame. We'll adjust that to look like that. Same thing. We do have a pretty big area of supply up there. So yeah, this just looks like we're still making legs up here. I do think we're due for a pullback soon. We'll navigate that. But yeah, here we are. Okay, so market opens like that. Just legging up. Nasty price action. Okay, I think I would go ahead and probably enter this trade because of structure being broken right here. We'll go with that. Stops like that. We'll target something like that. Smaller risk to reward, but no problem with it. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to hit take profit just like that. Okay. So the next question I would do is opinions on material things. So as you guys, if you go back and look throughout this channel, you guys can see that I'm a very big believer in Christ. I believe Jesus Christ is the answer to life. I'm a devout Christian, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I do not have the biggest opinion on material things. I do very well for myself, and I'm glad that God has given me this path and this journey to be on. I have some nice jewelry, I have some nice things, but as far as spending millions and millions of dollars per year on all these cars and all this, it's just, to me, it is not normal, and it is not something that I like to prioritize. If we look at the book of Matthew chapter 6, it says start storing up treasures that you can bring to heaven, not treasures here on earth. So that to me sticks in my head. I'm not the biggest fan of material things. Of course, like I said, I've bought some nice jewelry, some nice clothes, and I use my money that God has blessed me with. I'm not saying that. But as far as all these material things, you know, I don't think it makes you a bad person if you have them. Just me personally, I'm not the hugest fan of them. So yeah, that's my answer for that one. We will head over to the next day here. All right, guys, next day here, as we can see, price gapped. So we have our new areas marked off on the 1 hour time frame, so we'll go down to the 5 minute. I don't know how I feel. I don't like when price gaps. It normally just chops around for me after it gaps, unless it comes down to fill in this gap, but we'll manage it. Let's see what we get. Yeah, just, this is awful price action. Yeah, atrocious price action. I recommend never trading in anything that looks like this. We will go ahead and move on to the next day here, in hopes that we get something so we can move on to the final question here. Wow, more legs up. Never came back in to fill in that gap. Got that. Got that. Let's see what price does here. Market opens. Dang, I missed that. We can go ahead and... What's the 30-minute look like? I think we'll go ahead and take this trade here. Just target highs like that. Bang. Take profit, hit. So, next question is, if you had to start over, how would you? Simple question, simple answer. If I had to start over, the first thing I would do is get a job. Whether that's a 9-to-5, a sales job, working at McDonald's, whatever. Get a job. Use that money wisely. Do not go spending it on things you shouldn't. Do not go spending it on things you know you shouldn't be buying or things that you can't afford, etc. Use that money to buy challenge accounts, to buy evals, whatever you trade, future CFD. Use that money to buy those. Continue to work your 9-to-5 or whatever job you're working while you are doing those challenge accounts. Then eventually you pass the challenge account. You turn it into a live account, an express account, etc. Do not quit your 9-to-5. Just because you pass a challenge account does not mean you need to go quit your job. Continue to bring in the money from your job so you have that extra security. And then as you continue to compound that live account, you continue to buy more funding or fund a live account while working. And over the years, if you do it correctly with proper risk management, you will grow. So that is how I would start over. So we're going to go to the final question here. We got one more question. So whatever happens in this next trade, we have one more question. Next day. Doesn't look like price did much at all. We got... Let's go. I need a more distinct area. Like that. I'd say that's good. 15-minute maybe have better options for us. It's really choppy in this area, but... over here looks pretty solid. We'll go with that. It's a pretty simple way I trade, guys. There's not much to it. Not much that clouds my mind while I trade. Risk to reward's too bad there. Break above. We didn't quite get the break of structure yet. We got one there. We'll go stop. We need to give my stops a little room to breathe. Okay, we'll go stops break even. That's why I say give your stops a little room to breathe. That's exactly what I said before I took this trade. Imagine if I would have put my stops right here. We would have been wicked out just to have us go in profit. Give your stops a little room to breathe. Do not care what people say that you have to hit 1 to 5 trades, 1 to 6 trades. Risk the proper amount of money that you should be risking so you can give your stops room to breathe. And there we go. We're going to hit take profit. The final question is, how did you get your social medias to start gaining traction? Okay, so over the past year, I've been trading for a while, but I have not been posting on Trading Talk or Trading Instagram or YouTube for a while. I just recently got my social media platforms to kind of grow. I've got about 20,000 followers on TikTok, 10,000 followers on Instagram, and obviously this account is going to hit 10,000 subscribers soon, I hope. The number one thing I would say is be morally correct. Do not be one of those guys that just post content to make fun of people, to lie to people. Be morally correct. Post things of value while still understanding we should be following the commandments of Jesus Christ. I always said to myself and people around me, I would rather post something morally correct that's transparent and truthful and get 100 views than lie to someone, lie about someone, make fun of someone, and get 100,000 views. At the end of the day, it is important to post things of value, things that people can care about, things that people can relate to you about, but at the same time doing it morally correct. Okay, so without further ado, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys got to know a little bit about my stances on things, a little bit of how I trade, and see my strategy. So what I'll do is I'll end up taking you guys to the screen here where we look at the backtesting stats and what I did and how much my winning percentage was, etc. All right, guys, so here is this backtesting result. We took 5 trades with a total of $13,000, 175 in profit, 80% win rate, 4 winners, 1 loser. We profit factored 5.39, okay? We had a day win percentage of 80%. And then we had our average win to loss trade was 4,000 to winner, 3,000 to loser. So just about a 1-to-1 or so. So a super, super good session. And that's what I'm saying, guys. You can still be profitable with not having these huge risk to reward ratios. See, this is mine right here. 4,000 winner, 3,000 loser on average, and still had an 80% win rate with $13,000 in profit off of 5 total trades. So you can be profitable and you can have a profitable strategy if you have an edge, and it doesn't matter. You don't need to take these 1 to 10 risk to reward ratios. Be patient and understand. So without further ado, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel. Jesus loves you all. I'll be praying for all of you, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.